welcome back, gents and gentlets. I'm your host, Captain Crazy Nate, and you've been buzzing in my ear for a few years now about this one. And today, I'm finally taking you to the skies as we dive into everything you missed in Disney's movie, Play. So buckle up and prepare for takeoff.
One legendary Easter egg that we haven't talked about in a hot minute is the appearance of the iconic John Ratzenberger. Now, if you're a Pixar fan, you know this guy is like a good luck charm. Well, he used to be in every Pixar film. That is until Pixar lost their way. And guess what? John Lasseter, one of the masterminds behind Planes, made sure to include him in the movie. You'll recognize his unmistakable voice as Harlan, this character at the airport.
The pits? Oh yeah, that's easy. You want to go down this way toward the fire station.
Okay.
Then, taxiway Alpha flips off to the left. But don't go that way, you want to veer right. And if you get to the orange barrels, you went too far.
And here's a little insider tidbit for you. The plane that Harlan is pulling is actually a clever piece of product placement for American Airlines. And while we're looking at this particular airport scene, there's some fun dialogue you might have missed. Watch this tug that's pulling a plane. He says, "Go back to Jersey, ya bum."
Oh, sorry. Go back to Jersey, you bum.
This is a reference to the movie Scrooged from 1988, where the line is actually, "Go back to Jersey, ya moron."
Go back to Jersey, you moron!
Another tug shouts, "Hey, I'm working here."
Working on mine. Working here.
This is a nod to the famous line, "Hey, I'm walking here," from the movie Midnight Cowboy back in 1969.
Hey! I'm walking here! I'm walking here!
And then there's a scene I guarantee you didn't see, because it got cut to enrich the story. Check this out.
Let's see how quick you are.
Ah! Hey! Whoa!
Unfortunately, this intense moment didn't make it into the final cut, but if you think this scene looked a tad bit familiar, you might remember this classic scene.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
It looks like Skipper took a page from Patch's playbook. It's a good thing Dusty didn't have to dodge too many wrenches in the final movie.
What?
One thing Dusty did have to dodge though was cows, tractor cows to be exact. When he finally gets going fast enough, you see him tipping the cows over. Just like in another movie John Lasseter was part of, and you're already finishing my sentence, Cars. It's a hilarious nod to the classic tractor tipping scene with Lightning McQueen and Mater. Talk about deja vu. There's actually a ton of Cars references here though. You might also recognize the RV from Cars, and the lost couple over here, or the sushi chefs from Cars 2. Careful, Mater, that is spicy. If you remember in the movie Cars, the mountains were shaped like cars and car parts, while Planes carries on the tradition where you can see mountains in the shape of airplanes. Even the airport is in the shape of an airplane, all the way down to the propeller in the front, and the mountain in the back is in the shape of the tail rudder.
Love a Peterbilt.
That's not a plane. No, that's not Superman either. In fact, they don't even make planes. That's a reference to a semi-company that we see in Cars.
I ain't no Mac, I'm a Peterbilt for dang sake!
Then the news reporter for the race around the world is none other than Brent Mustangburger. That's the reporter from Cars 2. It's like a reunion of all of our favorite car stars, blending the worlds of cars and planes into one epic adventurer. And did you know that Franz Fligenhausen, the flying car, was inspired by a real-life car that could actually turn into a plane? We're talking real life here, folks. It's a nod to the innovation spirit of the aviation history. Dusty also flew over some famous landmarks. He soared past the Statue of Liberty, hopefully you saw that, and even the Neuschwanstein, that castle is in the Bavarian Alps, and we saw that during the scene where Bulldog got oil in his eyes and Dusty saved him. Originally, the movie was going to be about trains.
Excuse me?
But planes are way more fun. Sorry, Thomas. The train tunnel scene is homage to the movie's original concept. But John Lasseter convinced the director that planes are way better than trains. An airplane movie isn't really an airplane movie without referencing the masterpiece, Top Gun. And boy, did Disney deliver on that one. First up, we have Bravo and Echo, In the movie, they're known as the Jolly Wrenches, not the Jolly Ranchers. Speaking of candy, try Crazy Nate's candy today and keep the show on the air. This is a clever nod to the real-life Jolly Roger Squadron BFA 103. What makes this even cooler is the casting. Bravo and Echo are voiced by none other than Val Kilmer and Anthony Edwards, reprising their iconic Top Gun roles as Iceman and Goose. If you look closely though, they even went so far to make their flight helmets on the planes sport the same design and color as their helmets in Top Gun. Talk about ironing out the details. But the references don't stop there. Keep an eye out for the aircraft carrier crew members sporting aviators, a clear reference to the peak of Top Gun look. And here's a fun fact. The real-life Jolly Roger Squadron is known for their distinctive skull and crossbones logo, reminiscing of the traditional pirate flag. Arr! Speaking of pirates, I talked about Pirates of the Caribbean. Everything you missed, go check it out if you haven't watched it yet. All these subtle nods create a fantastic layer of nostalgia and recognition for Top Gun fans. But they didn't just give a nod to Top Gun, they also shout out their very own heroes. Skipper only went on one mission in his career, the Glendale Canal. The Glendale Canal is a reference to Glendale, California. This matters because it's where Disney Toon Studios is located, where the bulk of this movie was made. These guys are legends in their fields. Even though this is a light-hearted movie, they didn't cut corners. The creators visited a real-life aircraft carrier to get advice and see how things worked on the ship. And then for authenticity, they even redesigned scenes where planes were on the deck with their wings extended. Only when the captain told Disney that the planes wouldn't have their wings extended unless they were actually getting ready to take off in that moment. Otherwise, they keep them folded up. So Disney literally went back and redid that entire shot just for that little bit of detail. So look at it. They worked hard. Now then, when Dusty went to land on the carrier, the captain sped up.
All engines ahead flank.
Aye, Captain.
Now let's explain why the captain did this. If the boat were just sitting still, you might think, oh, it's easier to hit a target that's not moving. Wrong! In the ocean with waves, a still boat makes it harder to land because it's going up and down. Speeding up cuts through the waves, stabilizing the deck and reducing its up and down motion, thus making it easier to land on the ship. The carrier also steers into the wind, which helps the plane land at a slower, safer speed. And speaking of the carrier, the USS Flysenhower is a playful reference to the real-life USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, named after one of our presidents, I think. Talk about really going into detail. I personally think that's a side effect of John Lasseter. He always cares 100% about the story that he's telling. He lives it. Now I got a question for you. What movie do you want to live through next? Also, I want to say thank you to the members for supporting the show. If you want your name up here in the credits, just click that join button below. As a member, you will also be featured on my YouTube homepage and get early access to some of the videos. It takes a lot of candy to make these type of videos, and if you want to support the show, you can buy yourself a bag of my candy at crazynate.com, and that helps the show while helping your taste buds. Let me know what candy is your favorite. And until our next adventure, remember, most importantly of all, share a smile, they are contagious.